Hey guys, Robbie K here, coming at you with not one but two movie reviews. Of course, one at a time for each video so we don't get them mixed in. But, as always, thank you for joining the channel and helping me get better with my movie reviews. So tonight we're going to start with the kids movie, Smallfoot, and in hopes that it will have some magic given the amount of advertising it has. If you're new to the channel, again, we do trailer first to kind of give you a decent plot summary of it without ruining anything. And then a quick phase one review, just give you the quick and dirty review as to whether or not the general thoughts are. And then we go into a little more detail with phase two. So, as always, let's get started. Smallfoot is essentially the opposite of what we like to tell with the legends of Bigfoot. And in this case, it's all about anthropomorphic yetis trying to find steep their curiosity when they have a chance encounter with a Smallfoot played by voiced by James Corden. In their curiosity, they send the one played by Channing Tatum named Miko down in hopes of establishing a connection and putting their curiosity to rest by giving him the truth. But of course, not everything is as it seems, and the goal is to figure out just what in the world is happening on the mountains of the Himalayas. But that's about all I'm going to tell you so I don't ruin anything. So let's kind of get to where it is. Truth is in terms of our phase one review, Smallfoot is a very cute, fun comedy that's going to hit its target audience of the young and the young at heart. It's a family movie, and with it brings a delightful soundtrack, very decent fun animation that maybe doesn't quite have the spark that a Disney animation film does, but certainly is a cute, fun time to kind of bridge the gap for what's coming in November and December. I can definitely say that I had some fun with this movie, enjoyed some of the aspects of it, but I think it still needed some time, some development, and probably a little more, everything being pulled together, cohesiveness, in order to really stand out as one of the best animated films of the year. Nevertheless, if you've got a troop of kids or you are just looking to get them out of your hair for a couple of hours, this movie's probably going to be worth the trip. Otherwise, I have to say wait for it and potentially the series that will follow it as your next run. That's all I've got for the phase one review, so if you're done with that quick and dirty outside of what the score is, head on out. Otherwise, stick around for phase two so you can get kind of the full picture. Now, in terms of phase two, we like to start with the likes. So where do we start from there? Well, the likes are essentially, first of all, it's a cute, fun movie. This isn't one of those animated films that isn't meant to make you think all the time. It's not one of those that's super artistic in terms of that's what the main principle is. It's just good, old-fashioned fun with a lot of just whimsical natures to it. You'll have a good time with the laughs. That kind of brings me to my next one, is that there's actually some clever wit in there. There's actually a little more variety to the wit than you might think of in a movie like this. So, comedic styles, whether they're clever references to old media to just slapstick kid humor, you'll find some stuff that will certainly tickle the fancy of a majority of the viewers going to see this. In terms of the animation, as I mentioned earlier, it's fluid, it's dynamic, and I do have to say that my favorite part of it is the character design. Now, while certainly not the most creative or unique, the thing I give them props for is the Yetis actually got some flair to them. Utilizing their hair as kind of a fashion statement, it's like they're wearing outfits, but of course are really stark naked with wool. I did enjoy that component, primarily with Zendaya's Yeti's character, because I think they gave her a very interesting dynamic in design that's going to speak to a lot of people, especially the merchandising, where you could probably make her hair change different colors. Who knows what will come with it. Nevertheless, I can say that the design was there, the animation was fluid, and they actually did some really nice work with their scenery and developing, even though, again, it's not the most unique or creative world. In regards to other likes, voice acting is fine and spot on. I think the atmosphere is very fun, and I gotta say that it covers some decent morals. If you look at my written review, which I just posted earlier, we can say that definitely there's some great life lessons that I think everybody needs a refresher on and that kids will definitely enjoy learning about. whether it be the wholehearted preachiness of races can get together, which I totally agree on, to kind of the peak for learning and never stopping at just answering one question, but looking at as many questions as possible, while also respecting traditions. And even more so at the fact of it's okay to be weird and be yourself. I mean, I think they're great life lessons, and they're done in a manner that's not too political, maybe a little preachy, but not too political as to make people roll their eyes or hopefully get another internet discussion going that's going to lead to more badgering and hate than anything else. Anyway, the thing I certainly enjoyed the most though was the songs, and particularly Zendaya's song and the end credit song. Those are the ones that have a little more emotional feeling behind it. Think of it kind of like the Frozen dynamics. Catchy enough to get stuck in your head and play it on repeat for a while, but also, at least especially in the movie, very artistically brought out to go with the scene, captivate it, and reflect everything to which they wanted to talk about. So, kudos to them for that. As well as, though, it's not all about the YOLO songs, I think, as Honest Trailers would say, but you've got James Corden's song, which is essentially a cover of Pressure, and it was very fun and very wholesome, and just a very entertaining break from more of the serious ineptitude that comes with it. But that's about where the likes go. Now let's talk about the dislikes. Well, one of the things is, going back to the songs, I think they kind of ran out of steam with it, because I can say that there were 3 covers of Zendaya's song, whether it be instrumental, a reprise, or just the original, that they based their kind of scenes and songs around. I would have liked to see more, especially given how they were on a roll with it. So perhaps that might have been the first step to go with. In terms of some other scenes, there's some editing that I think is trying to tell a story or at least set up for a series. And if that's the case, it's a little seed money to go with it, and I'll take it for what it is. In regards to if this is the only movie they're making, though, editing needed to tighten up a couple of the other scenes that I don't quite think were necessary, or at least not in the length that they were. So I can't say that that would be my biggest dislike, but just something nevertheless. Um, I do miss some of the more clever jokes and the references. That's just me. I really wish that they had done a better job of balancing kind of the meme and slapstick for the kids. I get it, they're targeting their demographic, but for an adult perspective, the balance could have been much better with a little more clever wit behind it. So that's probably where that component is. And another thing that bothers me is that you have all these great voice actors and potential characters, but not enough development to really help them stand out as a whole outside of their unique designs. There's a couple of comedic stints and a couple of phrases that are going to catch on, and of course, toys will help make the difference. But the truth is in the movie itself, a lot of these extra characters needed some more time and development. And while I appreciate the pace of only 90 minutes, actually less if you don't count credits, I think it really needed some more time to develop the characters. But then again, we don't know if this is going to be a sequel or if there's going to be a series to come out on Netflix like Riders of Berk and Kung Fu Panda did, and Riders of Berk being How to Train Your Dragon. Nevertheless, I can't necessarily say that the characters were all necessarily utilized well or needed. So there's some story elements that need to be hit. Finally, we hit kind of my biggest thing is that it's definitely not a Disney production. And I understand Disney is a juggernaut when it comes to it in terms of imagination, patent rights, 2 big animation studios that take care of it, and a budget nevertheless that allows them to do whatever the heck they want. And while Warner Brothers made a valiant shot at it, it's just not, it's missing the cohesiveness and kind of all that big time splending that I think they did. That Disney does, I'm sorry. So they hit a couple of marks here and there, but I think it's still lacking a little bit of finesse to bring it all together and really play to its strengths. But regardless of it, the truth is that Smallfoot I had fun with. It's going to be exactly what you want. Fun for kids, fun for family, and fun for giving you the ability to really just enjoy some clever songs, a little bit of decent humor, and just an overall cute feeling nonetheless. Again, it's not a Disney film, but it will do its job. Worth a trip to the theater, as I mentioned in the phase 1. Yes, if you've got a group of kids or just a kind of a family outing, But otherwise, hold out and wait till this one comes out on DVD/streaming. I think you'll be in the better for your money. Anyways, guys, the scores for this are in terms of animated, adventure, and family/children. With comedy, probably a 7. And if I'm looking at movie overall, probably a 6. Outside of that, I'll have another one up in just a second. But until then, this is where I leave you. Have a wonderful night. Thank you for supporting, and please share, comment, and help me make this better. Thanks, guys. Bye.